problem. We've got somebody coming the other way.
Oh my God.
Hello and welcome to the Travel Show with me, Henry Golding, coming to you from Cambodia.
In a moment, I'll be jumping aboard this, one of the passenger trains finally bringing the railways back to the country. And then I'll be traveling to the north of Cambodia to ride on something that's a little more rustic and a lot more hair-raising.
Oh wow. Also coming up in the show,
we take on some of India's scariest hairpin bends. We go behind the scenes to discover what keeps one of South Africa's most iconic restaurants revolving. And Michelle's here with her regular global guide to the best things to see and do around the world next month. From the hustle and bustle of Phnom Penh to the temples at Siem Reap and Angkor, Cambodia is fast becoming one of Southeast Asia's hottest destinations. And now, almost 5 million people come here every year. But, it has to be said, it's not the easiest country in the world to get around. When the Khmer Rouge came to power in the mid-1970s, they virtually shut down Cambodia's entire rail network, as Pol Pot tried to take the country back to the Middle Ages, or Year Zero as he called it. It's thought that millions died and the country's infrastructure was left decimated for decades, long after the Khmer Rouge were overthrown. As a result, traveling around Cambodia is challenging, with most people being forced to use the overcrowded and badly maintained roads where deadly accidents have almost doubled over the past 10 years.
but things are about to change. Here in Phnom Penh, one of Cambodia's new passenger train lines is about to be opened, but I've been given special permission to have a ride before everything officially gets going.
This new line will connect the capital with the coastal town of Sihanoukville, a journey of just over 250 kilometers, providing a much-needed lifeline for locals and easier access to the south for tourists. And although the timetable will be limited to start, more trains are promised later this year.
I've just seen a lot of people clamber aboard, all very excited. The engine started, so I think we're just about to leave.
I'm here on board to meet John Geary, the man behind getting the new trains up and running. And like all railway men, it seems he's a stickler for timing.
John!
Hello, welcome aboard.
Thank you very much.
How you been?
I thought I was going to miss it. They're pretty punctual, these things, aren't
Well,
they?
we like to be.
You've done a good
8:30
job.
departure, all the time.
What were the challenges in getting this up and running?
The carriages, unfortunately, were in a very dilapidated way when we took them. And we've had to rethink them and redo the air conditionings and the lighting and the power and a lot of body work. And we also, the most important part, believe it or not, this is the part you don't see, is the undercarriage and suspensions and stuff like that. We have to make sure it's 100% safe. So everything in here is being ripped out and put back.
Now this cabin isn't finished yet. You can smell that freshly licked paint. The chairs themselves, they're not done yet. You can see that this one's kind of missing the seating area. I think this is going to be really changing the dynamic of how people travel around Cambodia, not only for the locals, but also for the tourists.
The Cambodia railway system is going to grow. The Northern Line, unfortunately, is not ready for service yet, but that will be in the next 6 to 8, 9 months, something like that. But the Southern Line is ready, and if we get the support, and we'll go slowly, and we'll continue to grow. So I'm hoping that the Cambodian people will enjoy it.
This is where the action happens. Hello. Hi. Gosh. Look at this. This is amazing. Oh, I think we're ready to go.
Budget on.
I've got to say, it's not the fastest train I've been on, but it's going to get us there. Now, at the moment, there's a tremendous amount of honking just for the sheer reason that I don't think the locals are actually used to the fact that these trains are back and running. So we've got to actually shoo them off the track because we're going through a part which is a big market, in fact. So there's a lot of people, a lot of cars, and a lot of cows, actually, we've got to dodge.
At the moment, the relatively short 250-kilometre journey will take over 7 hours, but that's something that doesn't seem to bother the passengers too much. Although this new train service has been greeted with lots of excitement here in Cambodia, it's not totally true to say it's the only railway currently operating in the country. And I'm now heading north to take a ride on something called the Bamboo Line, and I think I could be in for something of a surprise.
I've come about 300 kilometers outside of Phnom Penh to an area called Battambang, where I'm just about to meet a man called Terry, who's a bit of an expert in the area, and he's going to show me something a little bit more rustic to what we experienced in Phnom Penh. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good to meet you, Terry. How's
Yeah,
things?
you too, Henry.
So
Glad you made it.
this is what you were talking about.
Yes, one of the world's most unique rail journeys.
It's a lot sparser than I thought it would be.
It is.
There's not much to it, is it?
It's actually a nori, and as you can see, there's a bamboo platform with bogie wheels underneath, a small engine, and the fan belt turns the back wheel.
All right, so this is ours, huh?
This is it.
Okay, jump aboard.
Seat 1A and 1B.
First class, as some would say. Excellent. All right. So it's a pretty simple engine, is it?
Very simple, yeah.
So I hope we're going to be all right. Is it fast?
Fast enough.
The origins of this railway go back to colonial times, but it eventually fell into disrepair and was left half forgotten. That meant that the Khmer Rouge overlooked the obsolete line as they destroyed the rest of the country's public transport infrastructure. Once the regime fell, locals hacked through the jungle to clear the tracks and then started their own makeshift railway, and it's still running today.
So this is quite distinct, actually. I've noticed that they're not wooden beams. What is the track made of?
Iron and steel. It was built by the French in the 1890s, and it's survived all this time.
I love how rustic it is, but you still get that kind of, where the track meets each other, that typical train sound and feel. This is the life.
It is.
And how long have the locals been using such sort of services, I guess?
About 30 years since peace came to the area, and it was the only way for many of these people to get into town. And here we come to a bridge.
So this is a bridge. Oh wow. It's rather precarious.
This is a railway where you'll find no timetable, no signal boxes, and no ticket inspectors. And also, very little in the way of passenger comfort.
Now there's a bit of trepidation when you actually look down the track because you can kind of see it where it all wriggles and it's been warped through the years that it's been operating. And you hit these bumps, and I do feel as though I might fall off at any point, but it's fantastic. It's a great little thing. I think we've hit a bit of a problem. We've got somebody coming the other way.
Oh my God. No, there's a simple rule. The train with the most goods or people on it has right of way, and you're going to find out what's going to happen right now.
Right on the bridge, the best place to stop. Yeah. Platform itself gets lifted off and you're left with these wheels kind of just dangling around.
Oui, la BBC.
Bonjour. So it's something like this kind of, did you come specifically to Battambang to experience the bamboo train?
Yes, when we talk about a train, we imagine really a carriage, not this kind of thing.
But there's a lot of work actually. It's not like a luxurious kind of trip. No. There is some work to it. You got to get off. You got to get on.
Yes. That's part of the experience.
There's a truckload, or should I say a trainload of these tourists sort of coming by. So it's pretty evident that this is a very popular form of transport in these parts.
In a country where all public transport was banned around 40 years ago, the news that Cambodia is slowly getting its train back is fantastic. And it's hoped that regular rail services will be extended here to the north soon too. That could threaten the existence of these unique makeshift trains, but for me, they're not just a symbol of human ingenuity, they also represent the dogged resistance of the locals to Pol Pot and his regime that did so much to damage this country. So I do hope that Cambodia's bamboo line survives for a good while yet.
Still to come on the travel show.
We head to Durban to meet the restaurateur who's kept diners in a spin for over 40 years.
So stay with us for that. The Travel Show, your essential guide wherever you're heading.
Hello, I'm Michelle Yana-Chan, your global guide with top tips on the world's best events in the coming month. Ahead, it's all about the outdoors, from wild swimming in Sweden to sailing regattas off Havana. And first, there'll be sweat and probably tears too at the very tough, seriously extreme Scott Enduro Cup in the US. This is off-road mountain bike racing rally style with timed descents, and this year they're upping the series to 4 stops: Moab, Utah on May 7th, as well as New Mexico, Idaho and Park City, Utah in June. The race is open to pros and amateurs of all levels. Think the demands of downhill with the fitness of cross-country, speed, endurance and awesome technical skill. Or instead, push your mind in the UK at the Amazed by Science Children's Festival, May 28th through June 5th. It's taking place across the county of Cheshire, a hub of science and tech and home to the Jodrell Bank Observatory. Events are free, with hundreds of hands-on activities for kids, from learning code to becoming a maths whiz to hunting for bugs. Venues include Chester Zoo, the Fiddler's Ferry Power Station and Hack Green Nuclear Bunker. In the Moroccan capital Rabat, the Mawazine Music of the World Festival begins on May 21st, with international stars coming to town, as well as homegrown talent performing. The eclectic lineup features Moroccan, Arab and African artists, alongside big names from further afield, including this year Marcus Miller and Christina Aguilera. Most of the shows are free and run until May 28th. Be part of the action the following day in Sweden on May 29th. The Örtala Uta swim run is a combination of, you guessed it, swims and runs. Teams will take on 39 kilometers of trail running with a 5.5 kilometer of open water swimming around the islands of Uta, Rana and Arlo in the stunning Stockholm archipelago. Get fast and get wet. To the high seas, and there might be no better year to head to Cuba, given changing US policy, to watch the Havana Cat Challenge May 10th through 16th. It's a pioneering amateur sailing competition. The Gulf Stream 100 race begins in Key West, Florida, ending in front of Morro Castle in the port of Havana. Over on the East Coast on May 21st, the dance parade and festival takes place in New York City, making its way down Broadway through Union Square and turning left on East 8th. The festival celebrates the diversity of dance, from ballet to breakdance, samba to salsa, tango to techno, as well as hula and stilt performances. The parade ends at Tompkins Square Park, where Dance Fest then begins, 5 stages of free performances and dance classes. That's my global guide this month. Let me know what's happening in the place where you live or where you love. We're on email and across social media. Until next time, happy traveling.
Thanks, Michelle. Well, finally this week, it's the last in our series of films from South Africa. Over the past month, we've met all kinds of people who call the country home, from the Zulu winemaker of the Western Cape to the Instagram-inspired photographer taking tourists on township tours, but we're finishing in Durban, a place known for its year-round great weather and a certain restaurant that's become something of an icon along with its owner.
You like spicy food or non-spicy? I want to give you the one in the creamy mushroom sauce. That's the best one. Filet triple R, medium butterfly. And we did the little seafood basket, which is delicious. Good morning. Welcome to Roma Revolving Restaurant. Nice to have you with us. I love what I'm doing. I love my customer, I love my staff, I love my business. It's exciting for me to be at work, to dress up every day. I've been here now in this restaurant for 43 years. And my whole life has been cooking. This building is very similar to the one in London, the Post Office Tower. So this is a very unique. There are 3 in the world today which flow in a window revolving. And there's only 31 revolving in the entire world today, alive and existing. There are 2 rails below the revolving floor, like a train. There is a chain where 3 tons all the way around. The chain runs against to the wall, in the wheel, only 3 horsepower motor pulling the whole thing around. Thanks obviously to the gear, to the mechanism, but only 3 horsepower motor pulling everything around. We never had a problem. So it's a very unique. I think not to sit in one table and watching the curtains or watching the wall for the whole evening, and here the beauty to sit by the window and in 1 hour, plus minus, because we can change the speed, you know, you see the whole panorama of Durban and surround, I think, 360 degrees. So I think this is something very unique. We individually prepare every single dishes, no sauce pre-prepared, nothing is pre-cooked whatsoever. And Lazarus specializes on the sauce. The quality must always be the very best. That's always been one of my philosophy in the restaurant. And also keep the stand of classic cuisine. Today it's very difficult to find a maitre d' in a restaurant that dress up with a tuxedo, take the order and prepare some of the famous worldwide dishes. What we do now, we caramelize the sugar. People, they are shocked. They are clapping hand because they never see things like this. See, real toffee. Little lemon. Sure you can smell that lovely citrus flavor. Now we use a little French liqueur. I had a professor from England a couple of years ago. He came here for dinner. When he left the restaurant, he said to me, "My young man, I have to tell you something. The last time I saw somebody like you performing with so much passion and so much love is over 25 years ago. And I'll tell you something, I was so proud of that compliment. I felt $1 million. Obviously, through the years, we find also a big change in the clientele. Because when we started in 1972, it was exclusively white only. It was very sad that very often the people from overseas would have come here. And unfortunately, we had to so sorry say, but it's for white only. I felt very, very bad and embarrassed. So I approached my lawyer and I said to him, I said, what about if we make an application to accept a non-white? He was very hesitant. He said to me, Gino, I don't think you will ever achieve it. I said, let's try. What do we got to lose? We were questioning, like if we won a court case. It was a tough situation. Eventually they said, okay, we will grant you an international license. And I remember my lawyer, and he said, Gino, what you achieved today is a history in Southern Africa. I love what I'm doing. When you come into Roma, I want you to be very special. In every way I can make my customer special. I give him my love, I give him my affection, I give him my honesty. I will never cheat the customer. I will never go and do something stupid to upset the customer because I consider them very special.
Gino Leopardi, the Italian who made a name for himself high above the streets of Durban in South Africa.
I'm afraid that's all the time we have for this week, but coming up next week...
Rajan heads to Texas and travels to Dallas to discover why, over 50 years since the assassination of JFK, the city still can't shake off its association with the event that shook America and the world, as he goes behind the scenes at a new opera based on events leading up to that fateful day in 1963.
Do join us for that if you can, but don't forget you can follow us wherever we are in the world by joining our social media feeds. All the details are on the bottom of your screen now. But for me, Henry Golding, and the rest of the Travel Show team here in Cambodia, it's goodbye.